Hi all, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show how do we start building custom adapter using RAB. So this is the first adapter that we are building with the help of RAB adapter builder. So in my previous video, we have seen all the 7 steps which is required. Now let's execute all those 7 steps one by one and build your adapter. First step is to gather the OIC credentials and create a confidential application. That is the first step that we are going to do. So considering I already have my OIC instance, but let's try to gather other information. So here, this is my OIC instance. OIC is test01 that we are going to use. And if you come here, you can choose your design time URL and copy on some online notepad here. All right. So I have this guy. Let me try to capture it somewhere. All right. So this is my design time URL and we are going to use the same, correct? And after that, what you need to do, you need to go to the domains and click on an integrated application and add a confidential application here because you need client ID, client secret. Launch workflow, let's say RAB app. Next. On the next screen, you simply choose client configuration and choose client credentials. And then here, what you need to do, you simply go here and then choose add resource and add scope. And from here, you will choose your OIC instance on which you will publish it. This is my OIC test01. I chose this scope, add, and let's say next. And let's activate your application, right? Activate. Now, when you will activate your application, you will see client ID, which you can take and copy it somewhere. And from here, let's say show secret. So that is your secret here. Let's keep it somewhere. And then close. Fine. And now what you need to do, you need to go to your OIC instance here. This is your instance, and then go to the application roles and come here, service developer, and assign that application which you have just created. The application name was RAB. What happened? Why it is not? Oh, show available. Let's say RAB. Assign. Fine. Close. Now you also need the token URL, which you can take from here, not the complete token URL, but you can say this copy domain URL, and that will become your token URL. Okay, that is your first step. So we have completed the first step, gathering all the required information from here. All right. So let's execute the second step now. The second step is, allow me a minute, guys. The second step would be yours. Ready with Postman collection. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this JSON placeholder APIs / users /1 / to-dos and /1. So I'm going to use 4 APIs, meaning 2 APIs from users and 2 APIs from to-dos. So I already have that collection, but let me go here and show you. So you can see I have created one folder, JSON placeholder. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. So here we have a JSON placeholder collection where we have, one folder users where I have a get user API /user. And then when you hit this API, correct, you see the response here and then click on this save as example response, which will save this file here. Same thing for this also, user ID, and then save this response. So we have two different groups here, users and then to-dos. So users, we have two calls. Under to-dos, we have two calls. Now you click here and then export your collection. Export. That is the second step that you have to do. So let's put it somewhere. I will not put in here. We'll do this later. Fine. Let's move to the third step. Third step is to download the Visual Studio Code and then add RAB extension. I already have this guy, a VS Code. You can download there and then you can come to your VS Code. So I already have the VS Code here. Fine. In the VS Code, you have to go here extension and then you search Oracle Integration Cloud. So this is your, it will search and you simply need to install. I already have it. Otherwise, you will see the install button and in a minute, it will install it. All right. That is your third step. The fourth step is initialize your WS code. So workspace, I mean. So what you need to do, you simply again come here and let's open a folder in which you are going to create everything. So I am going to open a folder here and I have a folder, guys. Let me do that. So I have a folder called RAB WS open. So here you can see I have that folder. Fine. So that is my third step that has to be done. The next step is to initialize your workspace. So it's the fourth step only. So how do you do this? So let's say you have a command called RAB initialize workspace and click here. When you do this, it will create certain folders automatically. API, definition, you see the main add.json that is blank for now. You can see nothing is here. Miscellaneous, logo, and quick start. All right, that is your fourth step. The fifth step is configure your publisher file. So you come here and you see I already have the file here and add it. So you will not have test 0, you may have instance 01. All right. I have this. So by default, you will have an instance 01, but I have renamed it because I have tried it earlier. So this is the profile. So I have changed this test 01 and publisher ID, you can put it anything, and then host on which you are going to publish. So whatever information we have copied in the notepad, let me take it and replace it, right? So here I will say host. Okay. And then your integration instance. Integration instance is, again, I'm going to put it here. This is my integration instance. And then token URL, like whatever URL we copied, we simply put it here and /OAuth to v1 token. That will become your token URL. Client ID. So let me copy the client ID. So let me replace the client ID. Client secret. And we need the scope also. Scope, let's see from where I can get the scope. I forget to tell you the scope. So again, come here. So whatever application you have created here, the application was with RAB. Come here. So this is your scope that you need to copy and then paste here. All right. So now, and you can see active is active test 01. So you can have this, you can have one more profile here. You can have one more profile, maybe production 01. There you have to put the production URL and then one URL can be active at one time. So whatever profile is active, the adapter will be published to that active profile. Okay. So let me remove that for now. I need only one. Save. Now, you have to come back here and whatever collection you are going to export, import in this miscellaneous document. So let me come here and let's click here and let's say export. And when you say export, export in your miscellaneous directory. So if I come back here, you see that is here. So I have that Postman collection. Now this Postman collection, I will convert. So what we are going to do, we are going to put the next step here. All right. So let me come here. My next step would be, we have configured. Now let's generate the ADD file. What is the way to generate? Right click on your collection. And here you have RAB convert Postman collection. Click here. When you do this, it says select the request from Postman collection. Okay. What happened? Why it is not? Okay, here. So here it shows users, folder, the one you have created, and to-dos. So whatever operation you want of users, to-dos, you can select. If you need all, let it be. And then optionally pick up a request for a test connection. So you remember when you create a connection and then you test, it will be tested. So which API you want to test during that test. So you can choose any one of the API, but remember, you choose the API which does not accept any parameter. So get user does not require any parameter. So if you choose this get user by ID, OIC will not be able to send the ID and the connection may fail. So make sure you choose the API which does not accept any parameter. All right. So choose this and let's say done. And then it will generate your ADD. You can see update main document, main.add.json, update main. So here you guys see main add.json has been updated. So you remember we discussed about 7 sections. One is info, where you can say ID. ID came automatically, JSON placeholder, depending on your collection name. And then its version, app info, you can say JSON, right? Whatever, JSON application, whatever you want to. This is for custom application, contact us. You can say anything here, whatever, right? We can put it here, support URL, publisher info, settings, and follow redirect URL. For now, let's keep as is. Don't change anything. Info. The second section is schema. So schema is generated automatically depending on your examples. You see geo, you see company, that is generated automatically. Headers, get user response, right? Parameters, you see get user, this guy. So this is your complete schema section. So this is all your schema. Correct? So what you can do, you can simply say schema. So we have first section, schema section. Third is connection. Connection, whatever options will be visible in your connection designer, all will be there. Like connection properties, nothing. Security policy. So you have none as of yet, but you can implement other. So this is your connection. So under connection, you have nothing in the connection properties, meaning you don't need to provide any REST URL for now, and you will have only none. For example, you want to add one more security policy. So you can right click anywhere in the ADD and let's say insert authentication scheme. When you click it, it will show you all the authentication policies which is supported by RAB. For example, I want this HTTP basic authentication. So it will add one section here. You see, basic authentication has been added here automatically. You don't need to do anything here. So it requires security properties, username, password. And then it also adds something under connection properties, which is like your base URL. By default, it is hidden. You can say false so that you can provide the URL here. Yes, you can customize in case you want to customize something. Scope action meaning it will be available in the invoke, not in trigger. Okay. That is third section. Fourth is trigger. We don't have any trigger, so I'm keeping it blank for now. The third, first, second, third, and fourth. Fifth is action. So you see get user action, one API call. Get user by ID action, second call. Get to do's action, third call. Get to do's by ID action, fourth call. So we have all the actions available in the ADD itself, right? And then you remember we have two folders, users and to-dos, right? So you see group user. So this is relates to your users, correct? And sorry, and get user action, get user by ID action is also belongs to group users. Fine. The third, sorry, the third is get to-dos action. It belongs to your to-dos. And get to-dos by action also to-dos. So you have total 4 and categories, user and to-dos. Fine. And then we have flows. Flows is the actual implementation. Get flow by ID, get user by ID. Test connection flow will be added automatically, which will call this API to test the connection. Get to do flow. So, and then get user flow. So we have total, first section, second section, third section, fourth section, fifth section, sixth section, and seventh section. So we have total 7 here. So you don't need to do anything here. But yes, in case you want to customize something, you can do like we added one security policy. That's it. Save it. Now, let's validate it as the next step. Click here, RAB validate. If everything is okay, so you will receive a message, good job. It is done. And the next step is to publish it. Click here and let's use RAB register RAB bundle. Click here. If everything is okay, so it will be registered in your configured profile and you will say adapter develop registered profile and you will get the success message here. So now you will see your adapter. So go back to your integration, guys, where you have published it. So here. So I will come here and you will go here, design adapter, and then you will search your JSON adapter. Search here with name JSON. JSON placeholder. This is the adapter name, and then type is local. And when you click here, all the info that you have given will be available here. Version is 1.0. Role is invoke only because we have not defined trigger. Security policies are no security policy and HTTP basic authentication. All right. Now let's create a connection. Connections. Create JSON. See, and you see it supports only role invoke because we have not defined trigger. Let's say JSON connection and then create. Now you remember we have connection properties. Let me show you in my this thing so that you can know everything. So you see under connection properties, we have defined base URL and it is not hidden false. So here you can provide your JSON URL. So let's copy this and then put it here. And you remember we have defined two security policy, no security policy, and then HTTP basic authentication. No security policy and HTTP basic authentication. And when you choose HTTP basic authentication, it shows username and then password to enter here. Fine. This is how your connection is derived. And when you test your test connection flow, you remember test connection flow? This test connection flow will be executed and it will call this API, guys. All right. Save. Now your connection is tested. Now go to the integration and try to create one integration application based, or let's say simply schedule based, right? Schedule call custom adapter. Now here, choose your adapter JSON connection. And now here you will see two groups. Okay. Module, let's say call API. So here we have modules, users, and to-dos. From there, these two are coming. It is coming from categories. These are the two categories, users and to-dos. So when you choose users, it will show you get users and get user by ID action. So from where those actions are coming, it is coming from your actions of users, right? Get user action and get user ID action. Get user by ID. So here, get users group, get user by ID, users group. Similarly, when you say to-dos, it will show you another set of APIs. Okay. Now let's say users and let's say get user by ID and then continue. When you say continue, finish, it will show you the request mapper, right? Mapper. So when you say mapper, it will show you the required parameter which you have set. So parameters, you see user ID, right? So you can say user ID in here, in your schemas, somewhere under parameters. User ID that is populated, right? So let's put here, right click, hard coding as of now, 1. Okay. Then you can see here, 1 is defined here, validate. Close. Now, then if I show here in the logger, let's say call API response, sorry. You see, get user ID action response. So again, that is coming from your schema section itself. Headers and body. So let's say I want to show concat, let's say name. Fine. And let's close. Now your API should be called. And when it will call API, it will call your flow. Okay. Now close. Save it and close. Now let's run this and then I will show you the response. Activate. All right. Refresh it and click here and then run. Fine. And let's say run. Now it will call your adapter, it will call your flow, and it will show the response. You see, logger, name, this guy. So if you see here, users 1, because we call the users API, Linen Cran. Okay. And you can see invoke call API. And you see, you receive the complete response here, guys. Complete body. And it shows the headers also. So this is how you can build your adapter. Of course, you can add more and more functionalities in your adapter. You can make it more dynamic in nature that we see in our further videos. So guys, this is how you can start building your adapters and then publish it in your specific instance as you want, guys. I hope you find this video useful. Thank you. Bye-bye.